Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. Welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. I'm your host, Aries. Aaron's doing his own video on his own channel, and we decided that after we would do our videos, we would do a cigar. For the cigar smokers out there, this video is not about you, so please, if you want to stay with us, that's fine. This video is going to get into details about transsexuality. Now, I'm trying to speed this up so you don't hear me rant and rave on and on and on about transsexuality, sex changes, breast implants, facial surgery, etc. This video is mostly to talk. I'm a male to female. I'm not that attractive, but I do have a good heart. First of all, I just want to say again from the other video, Aaron made the most tastiest dinner ever tonight. It was a turkey lentil soup with jalapenos. It was damn tasty. I'm going to be enjoying that for a while. We're looking at getting some more turkeys. Soon you guys will have a new video, by the way, and if you want to continue watching this video, that's short. I know, Cigar Addict, you like to watch them and give your insight, so I hope you can watch this. Now, being disabled, I'm not going to be talking much about my disabilities, but about transsexuality or transsexualism. There is several types. Somewhere on YouTube, there's 7 types. There's the fetish type that get it because they get a thrill whacking the pud while in a dress or in pantyhose or stockings. There's the transvestite that wants to look female, get breast implants, but keep the penis. Well, back in the 60s, a transvestite was basically called a crossdresser. Crossdresser loves girls' clothes. They'd dress up as a crossdresser, but they'd keep their beard. They wouldn't shave. They wouldn't complain about facial hair. They just, they'd put on a wig, have a beard, and walk out and be like, "Oh, look at me, darling." So those ones won't do it. There's the gays that can't accept being gay. They have a sex change to be a female. Same goes with lesbians, but you can't accept it, by biblical proportion, so they have a sex change. But we're not getting into that one. Like I said, there's the fantasies, the ones that will fantasize about being a woman, having sex as a woman. Again, they get it done, and, well, they regret it, and they commit suicide. There's the true transsexual, who feels their soul is trapped in the wrong body, and they have the sex change. Now, I have a female soul, but I will tell you, and I'm going to be blatant and blunt about it for you cigar smokers. It's already almost 3 minutes in. That I am the type of woman, like many women out there, genetic women, that don't turn around and classify a trans woman a real woman, because they're basically a man, as some people say, in a woman suit. They have all the plastic surgery, they try to pass, but eventually someone spills the beans about them being born a man. And then look what happens. They end up getting the crap kicked out of them or being abused or beaten. Yeah. So always be honest with yourself. The other day, talking about transsexual ideas and transsexualism, me and Aaron were talking about the cold. Bringing up this. The cold weather is getting to a point where at times the weather is almost like 13 degrees. Like last night it was 8. I think it got down to 8. Anyways, we had to walk our dogs. And I'm like this. Walking around. And Aaron says, you're a woman. You should get yourself a scarf. He's got a little beanie cat on. One of those knit beanie caps. I call them beaner caps. No offense to Hispanics. I don't mean any harm on it. I knew a Hispanic guy who had kidney failure from too much alcohol and drugs, and he had to have dialysis every day pretty much. He had a portable dialysis machine he kept with him, so during his lunch break he'd do dialysis. And he used to always, him and his boss would always joke about beaners, and so, no offense, I'm just saying he has this little beaner cap, or beanie cap, that's knit, and Aaron's got gloves, and he's just like, maybe I should get a mask. Maybe I should get a mask. Well, when I talked about scarves, he talked about a bandana over his face, but nowadays with bandanas, as one person said, I don't remember your name, sir, but you were talking about throwing people under the bus, particular policemen. would have talked about Aaron and his disabilities. Well, Aaron was talking about, again, can't trust a cop nowadays if you're walking down the street at 1 in the morning with a bandana on your head, on your face, trying to keep warm. They'll think you're up to no good, shoot you just because. So Aaron's like, no. But with me, he says you can wrap yourself up with a nice scarf, silk scarf, or a cotton scarf, or a wool scarf to stay warm. No problems. You're a girl, Rita. No problems. So, transsexuality, there's like 7 types. One is where a man can't get a woman, so he becomes a woman, so he can have sex. That's another one. But the true transsexual is ones who are basically a transsexual, who is male to female. And I'm going to tell this also to you viewers out there who's gotten close to almost 6 minutes. A true transsexual will tell you that they're a man trapped, or a woman trapped in a man's body, or a man trapped in a woman's body, and they need to have a gender reassignment surgery. They're not going to turn around, a female to male, I have never heard, turns around and tells a girl that they're dating, I was born both intersex, to say, you know, you have intersex. Most intersex people were born with both male and female parts. One part might work, the other one might not, or true hermaphrodism, both parts do not work. So technically, do your research before you sit there and listen to the bullcrap lies where someone says, oh, I'm intersex, I was born both and I need a sex change. I just look male, but I'm really a female. You know, I mean, those are the ones that Aaron and I hate because they're deceitful, and the fact that they deceive to the point that, you know, I mean, a female, male to female, goes in and gets huge breast implants, bigger than their body needs, and they're like, walking down the street, and we call them men and women suits, even though their body's female, their face is still male, even if they had facial reconstructive surgery. Some of them, like me, can't pass on the voice, so I get a little defensive. But you see these ones with huge implants are like, what'd you call me? You called me sir? Oh, look at these. I didn't get these for nothing. And they're like, calm down, sir, calm down, you know. Me, I'm just like, sir. And, you know, I wear dress conservative most of the time. Sometimes I wear heels, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, and they apologize. But these ones are like, what are these? I've had these done. Look at this. I'm a woman. Burp, 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 burp. And they're wearing a low-cut shirt trying to show off, right? And a lot of guys come up to me, and they're like, you're just yourself, yes? Whereas you see these ones are like, oh, look at this. What do I have? Blah, 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 blah. I'm a real woman, real woman. I mean, they've even said that to women, genetic women. And I've turned to genetic women, and I said, look, it's a man in a woman's suit. Because I've heard that a lot. And it just sticks, you know. And so for you transsexuals, if you come across this video and you want to attack me, I'm just going to say I have the right to ban you, and I have the right to remove your negative comments. Because frankly, I've seen too much damn deceit in my entire life between you liars, you cheaters, and you people that sit there and say, well, I'm a real woman, I need a guy, I can't have a woman. I like women. The only guy I truly like and love in my own damn heart is Aaron. My stepfather, yes. And the third video is going to be talking about my stepfather in a bit. And I got a 4th video about dinners. But this video, for you living simply and fun people, is transsexuality. When you're born in the wrong body, you want to change your sex. But you also want to be yourself. You don't need to sit there behind in your new female frame and being like, I'm too cute. You gotta open the door for me. Heck, Aaron opens the door for me at times. Heck, we go to the store. He's like, hey, hon, take the grocery cart. I push it. Sometimes he wants to push it if he's got his cart with him, because on the bottom of his little shopping cart, baby stroller that's we got for free, he keeps the grocery bag in the top and it's secured. And down below, there's a little basket area. And little Moppy, his service dog, sits in it. So we go this way. I mean, when you find someone and you love them very much, they accept you for who you are. A lot of transsexuals get disowned because a lot of family members think that they're gay and they're having a sex change for the wrong reasons. Or they push on and say, well, if you don't accept me, that's a problem. You're discriminating. Families can discriminate because they don't want to see their son or daughter having a sex change. Now, some of them accept and love, saying, well, you okay. My mom was like that. Most of my family disowned me because they didn't want to know me. But the bottom line is, I've seen too many transsexuals also turn around and be like, I'm a woman, I need to be at home eating bonbons and cooking and cleaning for my man, while my man makes all the money for me to spend. Wrong. You're a man in a woman suit. A lot of them also want to have sex change so they can have an easier life. Then they get through it, and then they find out it's wrong because first time they have sex, and I've talked to about 300, 400 transsexuals that say that it's like taking like this, thrusting or whacking to the meat stick, and you just keep doing this. You know, for you guys out there watching it that are interested in transsexualism, but you can't release the cum, the semen, or the sperm because there is no release. It's just, you know, they say, oh, well, you can have orgasms. Yeah, it's in your mind. A true woman's orgasms is something that a woman to another woman, genetic women, can explain to each other. Whereas if a woman tries to explain it to a trans woman or a genetic guy who's just likes having sex, the guy gets his own orgasm by, you know, doing the mambo with the woman, but the woman cannot explain the multiple orgasms. He can't. It's not explainable. I mean, you could sit there and go over your head like a bad joke. You'd be, huh? What's the kit punchline on the joke? Thing is I also see a lot of trannies sitting there, transsexuals, trannies, say, I'm a real woman. I used to do car work, but now my guy's got to do it. But they don't have a guy, and they say that's men's work. Then they say, well, you're not a real woman because real women don't smoke cigars. Well, I'm sorry. I know like over 500 women on Facebook, in Facebook groups that I'm with that smoke cigars. We could sit there and talk about, oh, did you try the H. Upmann? Oh, no, not yet. Have you tried that one? No, not this one. Have you tried the Espada? Oh, no. Oh, okay, no problem. Whereas you see these people, oh, well, you're a man. You like fishing. I know a lot of sports women that pull out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 50-pound plus Chinook salmons, you know, king salmons. And then the genetic women are like, oh, that was really thrilling. Whereas you see these men that become women, well, fishing for men, not women. Firing a gun at a gun range is not for women. Well, I know a couple transsexuals down in the southern states that have a gun, and they like to go plinking. So everything that you say is not for women is wrong. A woman can do everything. The only thing that trans women can't do, unless you're female to male, is give birth. Otherwise, a male to female cannot give birth and can't get pregnant. So technically, but then they complain when they get the same smaller wages as a genetic man who gets more. It's like, hello, you've chosen sex change because you feel you're trapped in the wrong body. You get it done. And then at 50 years old, I've talked to women that's had their sex change done at 22, started their transition at 18. They're still freaking single. They're like, oh, I met this great guy, but he looked at me and says, you were born a man. Even with all the FFS, facial feminization surgery. I don't know what to do. Well, there is 2 reasons for it. A, you're not being honest with yourself, because if you're honest with yourself, you wouldn't give a damn about your looks, and you would be happy as hell. What do you call it? Walking down the street wearing a Santa hat like I do in the winter. Look at this. This hat's over 20 years old. It's got dirt around it. Little kids ask me if I climb up and down chimneys when they see me on the street. They're like, have you gone up and down chimneys lately, Santa? Then I wear this in the summertime with my leather trench coat. Yeehaw! Giddy up, little doggy! Heck, I could wear the pointive hat. I can buy one online and be like, and I can be like, all hail Aries the Popette. But would I? No. But it'd be a fun job just to buy a hat, because as a friend of mine said, hats are one thing that makes happiness for her. She's got over 50 hats. You can have hats all your life. You can be the little old lady at 95 years old that passes on with like 900 hats. Or you can be that senator or president's lady that has almost 5,000 pairs of shoes. DeMarcos in the Philippines. A lot of trans women think and I'll get to this before I get to the other video, that sex sells. So if they have a hot body, big breast implants that makes their breasts huge, wearing white, black, red, teddy with garter belts, with thigh highs, or even with thigh highs that holds on with the elastic, that a guy's gonna sit there and be like, yeah, let me stick it in there. We're doing this thing like this, but it means the hot dog in their man-made taco, and me like, which by the way, their vagina is man-made, so it's inverted. Their hot dog is inverted. So technically, and some doctors say they can give sensate, but it's more likely BS. Now, a lot of women out there, male to females, get what we call transgendered female problems. A lot of yeast infections, a lot of bladder infections after their surgery. They don't take care of their vagina right, or they don't dilate right, or, a lot of yeast infections, supposedly, as my mama would say, can go away if you drink too much cranberry juice. Well, if that's the case, cranberry juice also cleans out the insides, apparently, for some reason. My mom never explained it to me. Some of you viewers out there, whether you're doctors, you're transsexuals, you're older transsexuals, post-operative, pre-operative, you know the answer about the not the grapefruit juice, old people drink that, and prune juice, supposedly for lessening of stools so they don't have hemorrhoids. Maybe that's why I saw a lot of people eat too much. They sit on the bucket 4 or 5 times a day, and they get hemorrhoids because they're not drinking the prune juice or the grape juice. So, I'd like to throw that in as a joke, But the main thing about transsexual is as a friend of mine was going through a sex change, they stopped it because they realized that if they had facial feminization, the breast augmentation, the vaginoplasty, or vagioplasty, some call it vaginoplasty, others call it vagioplasty, and you get done with your surgeries. What if you're 50 years old, 60 years old, you're living as a woman, you're single, and you have all these younger women that's like, oh yeah, I'm going through a sex change, I'm really a woman too. Well, the older woman can give newer advice, but the older woman, as soon as they get done with their sex change, whether it's 4 years, 5 years, 6 years of group therapy, they decide to disappear, thinking, I'll have sex as a woman, I'll get married as a woman, hell, I'll adopt as a woman. 99% of them don't adopt, has sex once or twice. Some of them become hookers, some become prostitutes, some become call girls, some become so depressed they commit suicide because they can't handle that they've undergone a full, complete sex change and they don't get anyone. And then they see me and they're like, hey, tell me, honey, how do you got this fat guy who's got a goatee with a service dog? What's the deal? He's been with me for 10 years. He looks after me and he's like a caretaker. He calls himself a caretaker to me, but in some ways, some people think husband, some people think best friend, some people just think brother. I think of him as a conglomeration of all of it, but not married. I mean, by state law, we could be together 2-3 more years, and it'd be basically legal in the books in the state of Washington for same-sex couples. Heck, my ID says female. He's always, Rita, you're a woman. Rita, you're a woman. You're a woman. Everything I have on documents is female. Yet people look at me, look at the man, look at the man. Well, guess what? You can insult me all you want, but the point I'm making is facial feminization is still going to wrinkle. You can have your facelift every 5 years. Eventually, you'll be looking like Liz Taylor. Or like the movie The Critic. What's this rope for? And he pulls a little string, the face falls off because they've had too many facial surgeries to try to look young. And even if you look young and you can pull off being a male to female transsexual and you're 80 years old and you're looking like you're in your 30s, eventually the plastic surgery is going to catch up with you, and eventually you're going to have complications, whether it be infections, other problems. I mean, like I said, the upkeep is too expensive. So, that is one reason why my friend decided not to have a sex change, because finish up it, because he did not want, he did not want to go into a nursing home trying to explain to the nurses why he has a vagina and breasts and looking male even after FFS, and he's getting bald hair and things like that. What if you get a few stubbles here and there and you gotta zap them? Zzz, 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 zzz. And eventually, you know, I know a girl that's popular with transgender people who has to touch up periodically because the hair grows back here or there after they zapped it 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Hello? It does happen. And then also, I've known transsexuals that try to milk their breast implants as long as possible until they start sagging like a genetic woman's. Then they go and the doctor says, oh, well, even though your implants are like this and they're sagging like down to here, for example, or, you know, gravity, we're going to have to take the implants out, raise them up, give you a minor breast lift, and then put the implants in. Genetic women are the same pretty much. And that's going to cost you an additional $4,000 because you didn't take them out at the proper time and re-implant them so they didn't have to do a breast lift. So technically, if you look at the picture, it's a lot complicated things when it comes to it. And so there you have it. Longer video than I needed, but if you're transsexual and you see this video, I don't implore you to freaking go and lambaste me saying, oh, well, I'm a real woman. No, a real woman's a woman who can give birth. You're a man in a woman's suit. I would be classified a man in a woman's suit by today's standards. By the way, if any of you want to go and attack me, I will just invoke my first rights amendments of the Constitution of America, and I'm going to tell you personally to shut the F up, because I'm in charge here, as Gene Hackman would say in the movie Crimson Tides. If you haven't seen the movie, it's right here. Crimson Tides. I think it's in the box still. Yep, it's got the little latch, for example. It's the one where there's nuclear war and there's a mutiny on a nuclear submarine. And he's like, if you can't say anything and something or something, then hold your effing tongue because I'm in charge here. Well, in my opinion, I'm in charge. My video is making a point. The point is for you people, including you cigar people, that's watched 20 minutes. I just want to thank you because transsexualism, most of us have to go through hell to be ourselves. And then a lot of them change their entire mindset after their sex change. Say they like women, they turn around and they want a man only. They think it's only right. And in the eyes of God, it's only right to marry a guy. But they can't get a guy unless they find some poor schlub that can't get any girl. Then the guy falls in love and says, oh, it's okay, you know. But that guy doesn't realize that he's never been able to thrust his winky into a actual genetic woman's vagina. Therefore, he goes out and has sexual relations with a transsexual woman who's got the breast implants, and he gets to play with boobs and he gets to look at it. But eventually, if she stays with him and marries him, eventually she might age like an old suitcase, like in Home Alone 1, where the girl's talking about aging like an old suitcase on the beach of France, I think it is. When she says that, she says, oh, I don't care, I'm going to age like an old suitcase. And Home Alone's Macaulay Culkin, the guy that plays Buzz in the movie, says, oh, great, a skank with a different color of skin. Guess what? Transgendered woman has to realize that eventually, even with all the FFS, breast augmentation, hair plugs, hair transplants, whatever, the genetic hormones, even if you're taking estrogen and you can suppress it, might double or triple the strength. And you might get bald spots eventually, so you'll be balding maybe. Or your face will start to masculinize, even, you know, so you have to redo your face. Being a trans woman, there's a lot of pros and cons to it, mostly cons. Like I said, being a high maintenance one. I mean, a lot of trans women like hooker boots, or the boots like Julia Roberts wore in Pretty Woman, for example, in the beginning, where she was wearing the shorts and the skirt, you know. And she's in the elevator, she unzips her chute. She goes, oh, I gotta run in my hose. And she's like, oh, wait, I'm not wearing hose, but she's wearing thigh high, so you get the point. So a lot of trans women think that being a woman, you gotta wear pantyhose. I know one trans woman who says, oh, well, you know, it must be us trans women only wearing pantyhose nowadays, because everywhere you go, and I've noticed this, I talked to a woman recently who was a beautiful, beautiful Latino Hispanic woman. Beautiful body, beautiful breasts, everything was perfect. I was having a coffee at Starbucks one day in April. She says, "Oh, are you a trans person?" "Yes." So we talked about transgender issues. She was a genetic woman. And we joked. I said, "You're the first person in probably 3 years that I've seen wear pantyhose." She says, "Yeah." She was into real estate. But she says, "Yeah, I was looking nice to sell a house today." Well, you look around. Unless you're going to be in a designer gown, going to a prom, or, need tights. You don't see many women wearing pantyhose nowadays. It's mostly men buying it. There was a poll recently online of pantyhose, thigh highs, and tights wearers, and 85% of them was trans women buying them, male to female, message. What do you call it? Them wearing it, pretty much. I'm sorry about that. I'm just checking my Gmail for all of you. I got the notifier up. So, basically, it's just junk once, your video's ready. But anyways, basically, the trans women, 85% of them are wearing the pantyhose. 85% of them. Not 10%, not 20%, but 85%. That's only 15% sales are going to genetic women worldwide. Then the trans women thinks black thigh highs, white thigh highs, garter belts, boobs hanging out, teddies, those type of things, shamils, I think it's called, are all for them. You see, genetic women, they only did that for certain things, for their honeymoon night, etc. Most genetic women, and I can vouch this, my sister, my niece, my mother, they all wore little nightgowns. Look at this, for example. Being a trans woman, I wear this. I've had this from my wife, who was Australian, who was a male to female transsexual, that thought, because I was, and still am, growing up, more of a Snoopy fan, and I'm also a Care Bears fan, and a Hello Kitty fan, that she found me 4 of these. There's only one left, and this is over 15 years old. But look, Snoopy, nightgown. I wear this every night to bed. Some cold nights I'll fall asleep with tights on. But does that make me less of a woman? No. It just shows that most women nowadays wear nightgowns. Some women, I've seen a trans woman on YouTube that wears this short-cut spaghetti strap top. She goes, "Hi everyone! Today we're going to be talking about..." I'm sorry, but a woman does not wear that. A genetic woman does not wear something that skimpy and sexy to try to turn on the men with their 9th pair of breast implants and be like, "Today we're going to be talking about breast implants. Today we're going to talk about breast implants. Today we're going to be talking about this." I mean, come on. And I'm not giving names because I'm not slandering them. I'm just saying a genetic woman would never wear that type of outfit. Heck, I've seen genetic women wearing low-cut tops. Some women here in town that wear gowns only to dances. But the rest of the time they're conservative. Whereas you see these trans women, "Oh, I'm going to wear a gown tonight for a dinner date." Like going to a prom. And then they cry, "Oh, yeah, the guy found out somehow he knew. Oh, poor me." You people need to realize that trans women need to be honest with themselves. I mean, a trans woman cannot go... Hold on a second. And insult someone like me, who's got 9 of these in various lengths and various sizes. By the way, this is a fly rod in its tube. And say, "Well, you're really a man. You fly fish." Excuse me. I know a lot of genetic women who fly fish. This is just Reddington. There's 4 Orvis ones, by the way. But guess what? Anyways, this is the Orvis one. So, technically, for example, one of the Orvis ones. You turn around and you tell people, "Well, I'm a fly fisher, or I play video games." "Well, trans women don't play video games." Sorry to say, my wife, who was transgender, got me into like 600 PC games. When I was moving back here, when she sent me... When she sent me home to deal with family issues, she sent me video games. She figures I'll take care of the problems. If I'm here a little longer, no problem. Well, guess what? 6 months later, she committed suicide. No, it's 3 months later. But her family shipped a lot of the other stuff home. They said, oh, do you want these things? Well, I want the computer games because my wife got me into all these classic games. Might and Magic, wizardry games. And guess what? Well, I'm a woman. I don't play wizardry. Well, I'm sorry to say, but a woman who, you know, then I see these trannies. Well, I played video games, so I had my sex change and realized it was just a place that I can confine myself to so I didn't have to be seen. Yeah, well, Aaron's got a grandmother and was taught that a child should be seen, not heard. Well, guess what? A transsexual should be heard and seen, but also should be themselves. If they like video games, let them do video games. If they sit there and they say they're sophisticated and reading Lobstergram and saying like, yes, I'd like to get this. And then you're tranny, oh, lobster's too expensive. We need to focus on our sex change and eat ramen. Well, that's your priority. I've learned living simply and fun, which, by the way, a couple trannies a while ago found my channel and asked what it's about. This is close enough. Living Simply by John Chrysostom. By the way, this guy is a saint. He was a saint. He basically says we all have to be equal, but we're not equal. Why? I always like to see if this is printed in America. So we are not. We are all equal. But guess what? A lot of people don't think so. They don't like disabled people. They don't like people like me speaking my mind and speaking the truth about the issues at hand. So the bottom line is, if you look around, transsexuals, even at 80 years old, they're trying to be high maintenance because they got to keep their implants and replace them. They got to have FFS, and they think at 80 years old they might get a 50-year-old geezer that's gone through a divorce, and they might be able to get someone. 99% of the trans women, male to females, do not get another guy. They don't get one. The female to males I've met, about 87% of them end up with a woman. They try to be, the woman accepts them more so because they're more open. They say, hey, I was born female, I'm now male. And most of them accept. You know, the lesbians don't, but you get the point. They're more... The female to males are more open and more honest, whereas the male to females are so deceitful. Oh, look at this, blah, 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 blah. I mean, then, you know, I've talked to genetic women, they're like, oh, hey, Aries, what are you up to today? Not bad. But they, you know, they always joke. I wear a leather London fog, a leather duster, a leather trench coat. I'm just myself, cowboy hat at times, whatever, you know, whereas... They think you have to wear a dress every day. You have to be wearing heels every day, tights every day, bras every day. Well, yeah, bras if you get breast implants, bras every day, panties every day. But they think tights, thigh highs, if you're wearing a garter belt, a dress. You know, I have not seen a transsexual yet that doesn't wear jeans. It's like, I'm going to wear a dress today to show after I had my vagina surgery, you know. Heck, I've talked to trannies that talk about the worst thing in the world is getting up in the morning to go pee with their man-made hoo-haws, they say, and they're pissing in the toilet and that cold air goes up their hole because they're just freezing. Oh yeah, that's what happens nowadays. So before you turn around and attack me, look at how much deceit you are. You won't, most of you don't even want it. You say, well, you're a woman now, you shouldn't mow the lawn. My apartment manager gets on the riding lawnmower every day. Heck, I know cigar smokers. I know black African-American women that are hot, that cigar smokers, that drive a limo and turn around and say, yes, I need cigar suggestions. Oh, yes, I need suggestions on a new riding lawnmower. I'm like, oh, try Kubota. Next, no, thanks, Aries. I got me a little diesel Kubota a lawn tractor. Whereas you see a male to female, I'm a real woman. Oh, well, riding lawnmowers for men. They got to sit back in one hand and drink the beer while freaking smoking the cigar in the other. Whereas you give me a key to a lawnmower and you tell me there's 100 acres, mow it. I'll be a woman. Yes, I'm a woman. Fly fishing? Yes, I'm a woman. Cigar smoking? Yes, I'm a cigar smoker. Heck, I've seen women turn around and say, male to females go, I can't see the movies like I used to, like Die Hard. That's so manly. I gotta watch things like The Titanic. Oh yeah, do it. Go ahead. Heck, I watch comedies my mom liked. Action movies with Chuck Norris. But you don't see me saying, oh, well, I'm a real woman. I watch these. In this day and age, if you can get past the frickin' gender binary codes, you can be your frickin' self. You can pack a gun. You can fly fish. You can fish for with a spin cast, bait cast. You can watch action movies. You can play video games. Oh, well, video games are mostly shoot 'em ups. No, there's first-person shooters. There's role-playing games, RPGs. There's action, adventure, RPGs, and sports. Cut all that out, I'm only RPG. Heck, I used to like the first-person shooters, but why don't I? First-person shooters, the same thing. It's either capture the flag or do something else. Then you hear these trannies, oh, well, I'm a real woman, but you ask them what the game they're playing for them. Oh, I'm playing StarCraft. Oh, so you're into real-time strategy, RTS. Oh, well, that's what you call it. Or role-playing games like World of Warcraft. Oh, yeah, I'm a level 90 now. I'm a real woman. That's a real woman's game. There's over like 6,000 free online games nowadays. 6,000. Some of them are like, oh, I can't do that too. I'm a genetic woman trying to, when they're really a trans woman, playing Farmville. Okay. Then you ask them also about the trans issues, about the Bible. Well, if I go with a woman, I might go to hell. And if I marry a guy, I won't go to hell. Well, excuse me. Jesus never said anything about same-sex marriages. Paul did in Rome, in Ephesians, in Galatians, in Timothy, in Revelations with St. John the Divine. Moses spoke about it in the Old Testament under Exodus and Deuteronomy, but he didn't put it in. A man has a sex change and sleeps with a man after he's had a sex change, he's going to hell. Didn't say that. So technically, let it go. If you want to rebel against God, fine. You want to say there is no God because God didn't give you the proper body. Maybe God was bored and he's sitting there on his computer above going, oh, I'm going to make this transsexual woman female to male. I'm going to name him Marsha. But when he has a sex change, he's going to be called Joe Bob McGee. Or this one, male to female. This one's name is Mike. His name is going to be called Michaela with huge breast implants. Heck, God could be doing. You don't sit there and some people say, well, Satan's playing around with the computer and he's bored. He's bored of corrupting women and men and alcoholics and drug users. So he created transsexuality. If you go all the way back, transsexuality was all the way back during Hindu time when men was living as a woman for a year. Or if you go backwards, Native Americans, the shamans had two spirits, a male and a female. So a lot of them, and that's where the doctors came in. They knew how to handle male and female. So, some of them, females want to be warriors. They found out later that the female felt that their soul was male and they want to be a warrior. Whereas you get a few of these Native American Indians that were male to female, they wanted to do what the women did. They didn't want to be a warrior. So the chief talked to the medicine man. The medicine man found out they must have two spirits. So they allowed the male to female Indian, who at the time there was no sex changes, to let them live as a woman. There you go. So before you sit there and say, oh, well, God didn't give me the right body. It's like a genetic woman. A genetic woman sits there and like the last video I did, goes ahead and gets breast augmentation for 4 kids or 6 kids or 8 kids giving birth. Or even Octomom probably needs a pair of bigger breast implants and a lift because of all the kids that she nurtured. No offense to Octomom, I'm just giving an example. What happens? Maybe God gave them a body that they were supposed to have and they're supposed to let the breast sag. Instead, nowadays, look at me, darling, I'm 32 and I got a nice body and look at me, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, the guys are all over. The guy finds out they have breast implants. Oh, well, they're going to shape and stay nice for 5 or 10 years. Then if they have the money, they go back and get more. Transsexual women are just like genetic women. They try to be stereotypical. There's no stereotypical and gender binary now. I've seen pipe smokers on YouTube that are women. Cigar smokers on YouTube that are women. Cigar and pipe smokers on Facebook. Fly fishing and fishing women on Facebook. My sister in Alaska, some think is a butch lesbian. She's married. She's always had her short hair short. She never liked long hair. It was just too much of a hassle. Trans women thinks long hair is what men want. Big breasts is what a man wants. But if you look around, it's stereotypical. Heck, I can give you right now on this channel that Aaron likes small-breasted women. He mostly likes small-breasted women, the brunette or redhead. A blonde, okay, he'll like a blonde too, you know, if it's Julia Stiles. But you get the point. Heck, he's even tried to date, and this goes into the next video because it's too long now, a woman who's overweight. Not tranny, but overweight. We'll get to that in a bit, but you get the point now. Point is, for all you followers out there following, including you trans people that decide to subscribe just because you want to be an a-hole to our future videos, we have the ability to ban you, block you, and remove your comment. All I'm saying is, why don't you pick up the shovel you're shoveling and basically turn around and shovel what you're shoveling before you realize that every time I turn around, I see a woman, male to female, throw a fit, try to sue someone because they were discriminated. They can't use the female bathroom. Or they can't use the female changing room. In this day and age, or they couldn't get bra fitted for their breast implants at Victoria's Secret, so they had to sue. Sorry, even if you passed, some of these genetic women know you were born it, and you would just want a lawsuit, so you'll do whatever you can to do it. Most of the people just want to live in peace, and they do not want to cause trouble. I didn't want to cause trouble. Me and Aaron were talking about this tonight because, frankly, as Aaron said, he's getting tired. Me, I'm an exception to him because he's like, Rita, you're a girl. You speak your mind. Rita, you like video games. You like movies. You like music. Heck, every trans woman I've met and talked to, they online, on the phone, they like love novels. I like to read Alan Quartermain, Sherlock Holmes, you know, other books that are hardbound, like The Count of Monte Cristo by Dumas. You know, someone said dumb but it's Dumas. So, all these books and classic books I like. Whereas they say, oh, well, you're not a real woman if you like classic books. Then you turn around and you gotta listen to their music, whether it be Britney Spears or others. Whatever happened to the 80s where transgendered women sat there, oh, I like Madonna. Nowadays it's Britney Spears and Gaisha and whatever else, you know. I mean, you're so stinking stereotypical. You think a genetic woman would sit there and listen to rap when they're maybe into country or classical. I like classic music myself. Then you got the trans women that think a woman like me goes into an art museum and says, is that a Rembrandt? That is pretty interesting. Oh, is that a Picasso? They sit there, what a boring painting. I'm a real woman. I don't go to art museums. Yet they'll sit there and go down the art aisle where they see the guy completely naked showing his stone genitalia and be like, oh, that is so cool. That's manly. Yeah, okay. And when they were in male form, they went to the museum and they were always looking for stuff like that, the gay paintings. I mean, I've had that happen growing up in school. Let me tell you, it is boring. Stereotypical, you need to act your age, you need to act normal, and you need to not put everyone down by saying fixing a car is a man's thing, mowing the lawn is a man's thing. Heck, I know a woman who's got a soul of a woman, lives as a woman, but some classify her as a cross-dresser that goes out, gets dirty, drives a van, does plumbing, does roofing, does carpentry, gets home, changes, dresses up into their true gender. And you know what? They're more of a woman than you all will be because, frankly, you're all jack-offs. That's all it is. You are all jack-offs. You're probably gay men who couldn't handle it, so you had a sex change. Or you couldn't handle it that the Bible might smite you, so you figured God would forgive you by pretty much allowing you to be a woman with a guy. But you end up going through life with nobody. And then you're a miserable old hag when you're in a nursing home trying to explain that you had a sex change and you had breast implants. At 90 years old, you're trying to get them to give you the reconstructive surgery you need to look like you're 40 when you're 90 because you're in a nursing home. So you got to explain to the 30-year-old nurse that you were born male and you've had all this surgery done just so you can be a woman as yourself. But you're not yourself because you put down everything that is right in this world, which is be yourself and freaking enjoy life to the fullest. Meaning, enjoy your life, don't put anyone down, and frankly, be yourself and like what you like and not give a damn about whether Joe Blow down the street. I mean, if a guy finds out that you were born male and he takes offense of it and you destroyed his manlyhood, you got a problem. But if the guy turns out and you tell him the truth and stuff and he can't find anyone or whatever, or he's having bad luck and he falls in love with you, literally falls in love with you, and he likes guns, you like guns. He likes fishing, you like fishing. You hit it off just great. You got a lot of things in common. Maybe he likes cooking, you don't like cooking. A lot of trans women say, oh, well, I love cooking. Then you eat their food and it's macaroni cheese that's burnt. I'm sorry, but stereotypical. Nowadays, a lot of roles are being reversed. Men like cook, women like to make the money, and things happen. Well, you know, there you have it. A lot of trans women are high maintenance, and they think they're better than a genetic woman, or they think they are a genetic woman, or they lie and say they're intersex. There's only 2% of the world's population that can be intersexed. Everyone else is either transsexual, transvestite, cross-dresser, doing it for fetish, doing it because it's a fantasy, doing it because they can't accept they're gay or lesbian, or doing it because they cannot get laid, so they're having a sex change, whether it be male to female or female to male. So, with me, I'm a genetic male, but I'm transsexual. I don't classify myself as intersex. I'm myself. I like what I like. I don't give a damn about what other people think. I'll go to Walmart at 10 in the night, 10 in the morning. I'll wear a dress. I'll wear heels. I'll wear a short mini skirt. Whatever I feel comfortable with that day, and I'll be myself. And I don't care if people make fun of me. Heck, I have hearing problems. If a guy wants to come up to me and gives me trouble, they got Aaron to deal with, because Aaron won't tolerate it. Aaron says, hey, they're being themselves. What are you doing? You just want to beat the crap out of them because you think they're a freak? Then it gets into, they realize, hey, what did they do to me? Nothing. They're just walking down the street. Am I picking up on them in a bar? No. I've seen trannies go, hi, honey, how are you? Perfect body, looks great. The voice comes out. The guy's in the back next to him, and they're in the grease bin. At 2 in the morning, after the guys get together with a whole bunch of bikers, and they decide to teach them a lesson. And then I'm already at home here in the morning. Oh, yeah, they're in a grease bin pulling grease out of the ears, for example. Guess what? You don't sit there and say, I'm a woman, honey, buy me a drink. I go in there, guys look at me. Hey, are you male or female? Female. I've had a sex change. Oh. I'm not looking for trouble, sir. I just want to have a quick drink and get out of here. Next thing you know, I'm staggering out with 8 or 9 because they're asking me, oh, is your breast real? What's it like having sex as a woman? I stagger out. And sometimes the barkeeps are all genetic girls. They're like, oh, how are you tonight, Aries? Next thing you know, we're all, heck, guys are always talking about some of the barkeeps where I was from, talking about, oh, well, what size is your bra? Because some of them got drunk, and they're like, the only one that's going to know is Aries. Heck, Aries can go to the female bathroom and, I'll take it off, let her take it home if she wishes. They can wear a low-cut shirt. Bottom line is, these girls knew me so well, I never picked on them. I never attacked them. I never picked up on the guys. My mom and I went to a bar. We just sat there and talked. 2 girls talking. Whereas guys, they say, oh, trans, they're going to pick up on us. They're gay. They use the F-A-G word, which I don't approve of. But they're like, oh, a couple of F-A-Gs, But when they realize I'm with mom, oh, no problem. Or when I went to a bar in Cleveland, they thought me and my friend were girls. And I'd be like, I'm not looking for trouble. I'm from Washington. I just want to drink. I got 2 hours to kill. When you tell them who you're with, next door at the coffee shop, oh, that old geezer, you're with them? I don't envy you any. They buy us drinks. Next thing you know, it's fine. But you tell them the truth, you don't get hurt. You don't tell them the truth, maybe you have a very femme voice. They find out that you had a sex change, they beat the crap out of you. Then there's a problem. Always be yourself. Always be honest. Honesty is the best policy. There you have it. For all of you out there, please add subscribe if you like. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestions. Thank you, and may God bless the world.